so today we're going to be learning about Pythagorean Theorem. Obviously, Pythagorean Theorem was founded by Pythagoras. So I just want to give you a brief history of Pythagoras, which you should already know some because at the beginning of the year, a few of your fellow classmates did a project over him. He is most famous for his group called the Brotherhood of Pythagoreans. Basically, they were like a cult. They believe that numbers rule the world, because it does. And it's actually pretty cool. So he gave numerical values to many objects and ideas. So I just wanted to give you a brief history on that. Anyway, so the diagram at the right shows a cross-section of a roof when two halves are congruent right triangles. The roof peak to a roof edge measures 13 feet. How far above the floor is the roof peak? So you are looking for this right here. This Pythagorean theorem is something that you should have learned whenever you were in 7th grade, but we are going to review it, and it should be pretty simple for y'all. So if a triangle is a right triangle, then the sum of the squares of the legs A and B equals the square of the hypotenuse C. Well, you also need to know that hypotenuse is always the longest side. So if the hypotenuse is the longest side, it's C, and it's always the one that's adjacent from your right angle. So we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Oops. And we know from here to here is 24 feet. If we're looking for this triangle, then half of 24, we know that this is 12. We're looking for B, because we're looking for how far it is, the roof peak to the roof edge. Oh, measures 13 feet. So from roof peak to the roof edge, right here, this is 13 feet. So, well, you can say that you're looking for A or B. It doesn't matter. I know some of you are particular about that. The A and B, it doesn't really matter which one you assume is where. It matters where C is. So we have everything we need to know to solve. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. And I know C is 13 because 13 is the longest side. And also, it even just has a right angle. A and B always make up where your right angle is. So I have 12 squared plus B squared equals C squared, which is 13 squared. So 12 squared is 144. Now all I'm doing is simplifying. Plus B squared equals 13 squared, which is 169. And now I just solve for B. So now I solve for B by subtracting 144 from both sides. I'm going to go ahead and move up. So B squared equals 169 minus 144. 2 is 25. Now, always think about how do you get rid of a square. If something's being squared, to get rid of the square, I just have to do the inverse, which is the square root. So it goes away. The square root of B squared is B. The square root of 25 is 5. So B equals 5, so that means it is 5 feet. Pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to do a few more examples, but this is pretty simple. Alright, so we're going to go on to our next one. So, to find the distance between B and C on opposite ends of a lake, a surveyor sets a stake at point C. So here's point C. If the angle C is a right angle, so if angle C is a right angle, I'm going to go ahead and, we know we're doing Pythagorean theorem, I'm going to go ahead and label. If this is the right angle, the one across from the right angle is always C. It's always my hypotenuse. And then I'm just going to fill in, I'll just make this A, this B. It doesn't really matter which one's A or B, but you'll get the same answer either way. So if AB is 185, so AB equals 185. So here's A to B, so this is 185. If an AC equals 111, line AC is 111. How far apart are BC? So I don't know this. I don't know what B is. So now I just plug into my equation. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And A squared is 111. Man, my handwriting looks really bad. B squared, I don't know, equals C squared, which is 185 squared. And thank goodness you're allowed to use a calculator, because 111 squared is 111 times 111, which is 12,321, plus B squared equals 185 squared, which is 34,225. Now all I do is solve. So now I subtract to get B by itself. I need to undo 12,321. And then I get B squared. This cancels out. Equals. When I subtract these, I get 4, 0, 12, 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 21,904. And now to get rid of squaring something, all I need to do now is do the square root. It goes away. And B equals, in your calculator, you probably don't know this off the top of your head, is 148. Pretty cool. All right, let's go. Okay, so builder wants to know if the corner of a room forms a right angle. Does it form a right angle if the wall measures 12 feet by 6 feet and the diagonal is 20 feet? Another word for this diagonal, that just means that that is my hypotenuse, which is C. So that means 12 by 16 feet, that's my A and B. So I have 12 squared plus 16 squared equals 20 squared. I need to know if this is true or not. If it's true, then yeah, it is a right angle. If it's false, that means no, it's not a right angle. So 12 squared is 144, plus 16 squared is 256. 20 squared is 400. Does 144 plus 256 equal 400? Yes. So 400 equals 400. And if it's true, that means yes, it does. So the corner does form a right triangle. I'm just going to go ahead and write true. All right. Last one. So a Pythagorean triple is a set of three positive whole numbers, a, b, and c, that can be the lengths of the sides of a right triangle. Some Pythagorean triples are 3, 4, 5, 8, 15, 17, 7, 24, 25. The most common one you're going to hear is 3, 4, 5. To determine if 9, 40, and 41 is a Pythagorean triple, that means does the Pythagorean theorem work on those three numbers? The only way to find out is to plug it in. How do you know which one's A, B, or C? Well, C is always going to be your largest number. So you can just plug in your two smaller numbers as A or B, but C is the only one that matters what order it goes in. So now I need to know if this is true. 9 squared is 81, plus 40 squared is 1600, I believe, equals 41 squared, which is 1681. Is 1600 plus 1681 true? 1600 plus 81, 1681. Yes. So true. This is a Pythagorean triple. If for some reason it didn't work, if they gave you the numbers like 9 squared plus 8 squared plus equals 12 squared, well, 9 squared is 81 plus 64 equals 144. Is that true? No. So all you would put is false, and you would know that it's not a right triangle. It doesn't work. I hope this lesson was easy for you. I want you to know all you're doing now is copying and solving these in your notebook. You have until Monday, so this shouldn't be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. When you come in on Monday, I will be checking your notebook to make sure that you understand. Please remember that the hypotenuse is always the one on the opposite side.